On the Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn set. Shows Philip Seymour Hoffman as Colin Quinn standing up. Shows Greg Giraldo, Patrice O'Neill, George Carlin, and Norm Macdonald as himself sitting in chairs. Hoffman. Hey, I'm Colin Quinn. You might remember me from Weekend Update on SNL. I was Lenny the Lion. And now I have a show here on Comedy Central. At least until the suits decide that Stephen Colbert needs more airtime. How much more Bill O'Reilly do I really need anyway? What does Stewart and those guys think they can actually do? Damage the Republican brand? Okay. Now, Colbert playing O'Reilly would cause less damage than Woodstock 99 during Limp Bizkit's sound check. Pardo. It's Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn. 3 rounds of smart comedy. Race, sex, religion, justice, and politics. With guest stars Greg Giraldo, Patrice O'Neill, George Carlin, and Norm Macdonald. Hoffman. I thought it would resonate, but it was 23 years ago, Woodstock 99. I thought it would really hit home, but you live and learn. Anyway, we have with us today Greg Giraldo. Giraldo! Yo! Hoffman! That's all you got for us, yo? Giraldo! Did you change the format or something? I'm here like every episode. I didn't know you wanted us to give a whole spiel. Hoffman! Patrice O'Neill. O'Neill. I'm here so I don't get slapped. Hoffman. Very good. George Carlin. Carlin. GeorgeCarlin.com. Videos, books, and merchandise. It's fun for the whole family at GeorgeCarlin.com. Hoffman. And last and least, Norm Macdonald. Macdonald. Hey, Colin. I know you. You used to write for me at Saturday Night Live. Hoffman. I'm aware of that, Norm. Macdonald. Well, you know what's funny about that? Hoffman. What's that? Macdonald. I was fired for not being funny. And then you took my job. Hoffman. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Anyway, an article came out of the New York Times 19 years ago that 28% of black males will be behind bars at some point in their life. But right now, 12% of all black men between the ages of 20 and 34 are behind bars. Speaking of which, what are you doing here, Patrice? When did you get out? O'Neill. It's the war on drugs, man. That's what they have all these brothers in prison for, selling drugs. Hoffman, what about racism? O'Neill. Of course. Giraldo. I hate to agree with Suge Knight over there, but there's definitely a racial component, okay? If you target street-level dealers, you end up with blacks in prison. And since they need white guys to rape, that's why you have DUI laws. Hoffman. Carlin, what do you think? Carlin. I think I don't want to alienate any potential fans by giving my political opinions. However, for my past opinions, you can check out GeorgeCarlin.com. Hoffman. Okay, we get it, George. Okay, how about you, Norm? Macdonald. I had to spend time in prison. Hoffman. Is that right? Macdonald. That's right, Colin. Hoffman. I thought maybe you were setting up a joke or something. Macdonald. Oh, good idea. So I was in jail one time for putting popcorn in a bulldozer. And those fellas in jail, they have a lot of growing up to do. I'll tell you that. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Can you believe those characters? Way out of line. Way out of line. I had a good mind to go to the warden about it. And you know what hurts most? The lack of respect. That's what hurts the most. Well, except the anal rape. That's what hurts the most. But the lack of respect, that hurts the second most. Hoffman. Okay, and how about blacks being in jail? Macdonald. Maybe legalize drugs so that when us white guys go to prison, we're treated with more respect. Hoffman. Okay, very good. Okay, and now we got to talk about Slapgate. Patrice O'Neill. I'm not touching that one. Hoffman. Why not? O'Neill. 2 brothers were involved, and I don't think anyone else should be given an opinion. It's between those 2. And if I'm not giving an opinion, I don't think any of you should be. Geraldo. Well, I can pass for Hispanic, so I'll say that Pryor's joke was great. And Michael Clark Duncan, well, he's a bitch for slapping him, okay? At least punch him or tackle him down or something. Hoffman, I'm sure you wouldn't say that in front of him. Okay, how about you, George? Carlin. At georgecarlin.com, you can find videos, books, and Hoffman. How about you, Norm? McDonald. I don't have the slightest clue what you're talking about. Hoffman. Okay, so yesterday at the Acad Dead on the awards, Richard Pryor told a joke about Michael Clark Duncan, and Duncan slapped him. McDonald. Oh. Hoffman. So what's your opinion? McDonald. Oh, I don't give a shit. Hoffman. Okay, and finally, McDonald. You stole my job, you know. Hoffman. I didn't steal your job, Norm. You couldn't stop making OJ jokes. McDonald. I know, but you were my writer. You were the one giving me OJ jokes. Hoffman. Well, what can I say? I wanted some TV time. Okay, use better discretion next time. Anyway, we're going to try to talk about religion, but it'll probably get back to race. Who the hell knows? Okay, anyway, there's more praying done in the Middle East, and that's where all the war is, okay? So how do you keep your faith in God? Carlin. Merchandise for the whole family. So be sure to go to georgecarlin.com. Hoffman. Are you serious, George? Carlin. I've given hours worth of opinions on the matter, and that's why I say check georgecarlin.com. Hoffman. Okay, Norm. McDonald. Well, the afterlife is a lot like regular life, except you can't eat, sleep, or have sex. Hoffman. Okay. McDonald. So it's even worse. So thanks, God. Thanks for making me suffer with cancer for years, so I can come up here and get peppered with questions by some guy who's still living and stole my job. Hoffman. Patrice O'Neill. I believe in science. I don't believe in the religious stuff. I believe if you go against science, you go against God. I think God put something down. He's not up there minding everyone's business. I think people say homosexuals against God. It's against science to me. Two guys not supposed to be having sex because there's no point to it. Hoffman. Holy shit, okay, 2003 was a different world, okay? Trust the science says gays can't have sex, okay? How about you, Greg? Geraldo. Well, we have Virgin Mary. We have a whole religion based on a woman who really stuck to her story. But with all these religions, people believe them so passionately, but now in most open-minded societies, there's just seen as man-made creations. Every religion has its good and bad, but who knows, maybe one of them is right. You know what I mean? That's the scary part. Maybe it's these doomsday cult people. Maybe there are these spaceships coming to get us, and maybe we're all screwed for not cutting our balls off in anticipation. Michael Clark Duncan comes out, picks up Geraldo out of his chair, and headbutts him. Duncan. Was that more acceptable than the slap funny man? And live from Tom's phone, we're not alive. It's Saturday Night Live, starring an ever-evolving cast that is unionized and refuses to allow their names to be mentioned until their demands are met. Musical guest, Lynyrd Skynyrd, and your host, Carl Weathers. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Weathers. Applause, applause, applause. Weathers. Thank you. Thank you. I feel very lucky to be here. I've lived a very lucky life because I was able to achieve a lot of my childhood dreams. Crowd doesn't respond. Weathers. The producer, to get me to agree to come on, gave me a list of reasons he wanted me to come on in the order the reasons occurred. The producer first got into SNL at about 8 or 9 years old. He saw the tail end of Carvey, Myers, Farley, Sandler, Spade, Rock, Hartman, Nealon, Schneider, Meadows, Sweeney, Cleghorn, Hutzel, Franken, Smigel. Now these were the heroes to this guy growing up. He laughs now how they were supposedly not that popular at the time. At 8 years old, he thought they were cool as shit. Anyway, he then loved all their movies, most notably Wayne's World 2, Tommy Boy, Billy Madison, and of course, Happy Gilmore. In Happy Gilmore, I portrayed Chubbs, a golfer who had his hand bitten off by an alligator. So when this cat was 11 years old, he never even heard of Apollo Creed and knew me as Chubbs. He then finally in high school watched the Rocky movies and knew me as Apollo Creed. Applause, applause, applause. Finally, thank you. I beat out Will Smith for the role. Apparently he's still angry about it. He then saw Predator while stoned in college, and then enjoyed my stint on Arrested Development, where I played myself as Tobias's acting coach. He then, just today, finally found out I hosted Saturday Night Live when he was 3 years old. And he then found out the crowd was silent when I said I accomplished my dreams. The crowds were tough back then, holy shit. And, well, I am black. He then found out I played in the NFL, and he then found out I liked to sing, as I sang the following. What about a rainbow? Have you ever noticed how you feel inside when a rainbow's in the sky? What about a rainbow? Have you ever noticed how it feels outside when a rainbow's in the sky? Colors floating in the air. It must feel great to be up there. What about a rainbow? Have you ever noticed how you feel inside when a rainbow's in the sky? Applause, applause, applause. We have a great show tonight. Lynyrd Skynyrd is here. So if I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? Because I'm as free as a bird now. And this bird you cannot change. We'll be right back.